Hi everyone, this is Krista from Spirit and Thread Crochet, and today I'm going to walk you through how to crochet your very own bralette top. This crop top is super beginner friendly, it uses basic stitches, it can be easily customized to fit any size, and it has such a flattering fit. Let's get started. So for this pattern, you're going to need a size 4 and 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, a tapestry needle and scissors, a stitch marker is optional but helpful, and size 3 or 4 yarn. I like working with cotton or cotton blends, so I'm going to be working with this comfy cotton yarn from We Crochet. I will have that linked in the description below. And to begin, you will start with a 5.5 millimeter hook, and you're going to start by chaining the appropriate length for your size. I have a sizing chart linked in the description below, so please visit that before you proceed. For a size extra small, you'll chain 8. For a size small, you'll chain 10. For a size medium, you'll chain 13. And for a size large, you'll chain 18. In the example today, I am going to make a size small. So I'm going to chain 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is my starting chain. Now I'm going to chain 1 as a turning chain, turn my work, and single crochet in each of those original chains, beginning in the second chain from my hook. So if I chained 10 for a size small to begin, at the end of this row I will still have 10 stitches. And we're going to continue adding rows of the same length using a single crochet stitch. So I am placing my final single crochet, then I will chain 1 as my turning chain, turn my work, and single crochet in the second stitch from my hook or the final stitch of my previous row, and I will single crochet in each stitch across, keeping my stitch count constant. So again, at the end of this row, for a size small, I'm going to have 10 stitches. And you're going to keep adding rows in this fashion to build what will become a square. For a size extra small, you'll have a total of 9 single crochet rows. For a size small, you'll have 12. For a size medium, you'll have 15. And for a size large, you'll have 20. So continue repeating rows in this fashion until you have that matching total number of rows. And I'll meet you back here once you're done. So I finished my 12 rows. My 13th row is going to begin in the same fashion with a chain 1 and then single crochet across, but it is going to end a bit differently. So single crochet in each stitch across, single crochet into the final stitch, and then add 2 more single crochets into this final stitch. That helps you wrap around to the next side here. And you're going to place a single crochet in each row on this side. And what we're doing is turning 2 sides of your square into one edge that we're going to work the remainder of the rows for this bralette cup. So I'm single crocheting into each row, and in my final single crochet row here, I'm going to single crochet into that chain. And here's how my project is looking so far. At this point, it'll help to use your stitch marker and mark your middle single crochet of this 3 single crochet corner. Now for your next row, you're going to chain 1 and turn, and instead of just going across one edge of our square, we're now going to be working across this entire row here. And what's going to happen over time is this is going to curve into a bralette shape instead of looking just like a square. So for the first row, in this new edge, you're just going to chain 1 and single crochet in every stitch across, including each of those 3 single crochets in your corner. Once I get to my corner, I am going to place a single crochet in my marked stitch, and then I'm going to move that stitch marker to this new row to keep track of my middle stitch, and then continue to single crochet in each stitch across this row. Now my next row is going to be the exact same. So I chain one and turn, and I'm going to single crochet in every stitch across, including my marked stitch. Once I get to my marked stitch, I will move my stitch marker up into this current row, keeping track of my middle, and then single crochet in each remaining stitch of this row. And as you work, you'll notice that your project is starting to round out a bit because we turned two sides of our square into one long edge. So here is how your project should look so far. We're beginning to curve out this corner here. The third row in this sequence of 3 is going to be a bit different. You're still going to chain one, turn your work, and single crochet into each stitch up to your middle stitch. But once we get to that middle marked stitch, we're going to place 3 single crochets instead of just 1. And this is how we're going to increase as we continue to add rows along this, this long edge here. In my marked stitch, I'm placing 3 single crochets, one, two, three. I'm going to mark the middle of those 3, and then continue to single crochet in each remaining stitch. Now for the rest of this bralette cup, we're going to repeat those 3 alternating rows, where the first row is single crochet in each stitch, second row is a single crochet in each stitch, and then the third row is a single crochet in each stitch, except for your middle marked stitch. That stitch will get 3 single crochet. And you're going to continue these steps until your desired cup size is reached, minus what will be 1 single crochet border row. And you are going to conclude your bralette cup when you reach these stitch counts, counting your rows here. If you count from this side, some will be rows that you've added along this long edge, but some will be harder to count. So you're going to want to count along this vertical here where it's all rows, and you want your total row counts to be 23 for a size extra small, 27 for a size small, 32 for a medium, and 38 for a large. Again, check that sizing instruction in the description for more information on these sizes, and also feel free to add more or fewer rows based on creating the perfect fit for you. That's just a guideline to start. Go ahead and continue in this alternating 3 row pattern, and I'll meet you back here when you're done. So I just finished my final row, and now I'm going to add a border row on this side and this side. And then I'm going to slip stitch back into this row here. So to do that, I'm going to place 2 more single crochets in my final single crochet of the previous row. And then I'm going to turn my work 90 degrees to work into these rows and into these stitches. I'm going to place 1 single crochet per single crochet row, and then 1 single crochet per stitch. So here I go, placing these inside the single crochet rows. And depending on which side of your bralette cup you finished, you might have all rows here, and then your stitches on this side. For me, I'm going to do my single crochets into rows, then into stitches, and then all single crochets into these rows. So I've reached my stitches, and I'm going to single crochet over my little tail here and into each of these stitches. Get the tail out of the way and continue to single crochet in each stitch here. And now we have a flat edge. I'm going to turn my work 90 degrees and single crochet 2 more times into this corner. Then I'm going to single crochet into each of these rows on this next edge. I'm placing my final few single crochet, and into this last row I'm going to single crochet into the side of the first single crochet of this border round. And now I'm going to fasten off, leaving about a 12-inch tail, because we'll use this tail to sew our 2 bralette cups together. Repeat all of these steps to create your second bralette cup, and meet me back here. Here is my second bralette cup, and I'm ready to sew my cups together. So you want to position them so that your tails are touching each other, essentially. And then you're going to put one bralette cup on top of the other, because we're going to use one of these tails. I'll cut the other with our tapestry needle to sew our bralette cups together along this edge, because that's going to be between the bust. The more coverage you want between your bust, the higher up you will sew with this tail. And the larger your bralette cup size, probably the higher up you want to sew together as well. So I'm going to begin by going through this border round single crochet, and then into matching single crochets on each bralette cup, going through both loops of the stitches on each cup. Again, the higher up you go, the more coverage you'll have. I am making a size small. I'm going to go up 6 stitches, but for larger cups you'll probably want to go up more. And then I am going to sew back down for a little extra security. And there we go. I'll sew in those tails later, but for now we are ready to begin our waistband rows. Now we're going to begin our waistband rows. So you're going to still use your 5.5mm hook and flip your work so that the bottom edge is facing up. Then we are going to chain to reach the desired length of this edge of your bralette cup. And that's of course going to be doubled on the other side. So this can be customized to fit your desired waistband length, but I'm going to give you some rough estimates to start. You want to chain 8 for a size extra small, 10 for a size small, 15 for a size medium, and 18 for a size large. Again, those are just starting points. You can chain to find your desired length to wrap around your waistband once that chain is doubled on both sides. We'll have a couple of finishing rows at the edge of the waistband, so leave room for that. But beyond that, you can customize how you need. So I'm going to do 10 chains, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm going to single crochet into the middle single crochet of my corner 3. So that's right here. Single crochet into that middle, and then single crochet into each stitch along this edge. I'm approaching the middle where I joined my 2 bralette cups together. In those stitches, the 2 single crochets where they were sewn together to join, I'm going to single crochet into each of those single crochet stitches. And then I'm going to continue to single crochet along the bottom edge of my second bralette cup. I'm approaching the end of this edge and I'm going to single crochet up to and including the second single crochet of my corner 3 single crochets. So that is this one right here. Then I'm going to chain to repeat the same length on my second side. For me, that was 10 chains. And then I'm going to turn my work, chain 1 as a turning chain, single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and each chain across, as well as each stitch across the bottom edge of my bralette, and each chain across my second set of chains. So I'm single crocheting into each of my 10 chains. And then once I reach the stitches on this bottom edge, I'm going to single crochet into those as well. So here's my final chain. And then I'm going to single crochet into each of these single crochet. Then I will single crochet in each of these stitches and in each of these chains. I'm single crocheting into my final few chains. And then I am going to flip my work and chain 2. This will count as my first double crochet. And then I'm going to double crochet into each stitch across. So here is how this should be looking so far. I just added my final double crochet into my final stitch, and now I'm ready to turn my work, chain 1, and single crochet in every stitch across. And you're going to repeat this pattern of a row of double crochets and then a row of single crochets as many times as you'd like to reach your desired length. For me, I'm going to repeat another double crochet and another single crochet row because I want mine to be a short bralette length. But if you want it to be more of a tank top length, feel free to keep on adding those alternating rows until your length is reached. You'll just want to make sure that you're ending on a single crochet row. Once you're done with that, meet me back here and we'll move on to the waistband loop and the final border row. I just finished another set of double crochet and single crochet rows. Here is how my project is looking. And I am ready to begin my border round, including my waistband loops. So to do that, I am going to switch hooks from a 5.5 to a 4mm. And I'm going to turn my work 90 degrees to begin adding rows to the side of this waistband here. So first we're going to chain 1, single crochet into your single crochet row, and place 2 single crochets in your double crochet row, and repeat. And then single crochet into your first single crochet row. Now I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And here's where we'll add what will become our waistband loops. So I'm going to single crochet in the first stitch, then chain 4, skip 1, and single crochet in the next. That is the pattern for your waistband loop. Now you can place these loops how you'd like throughout this row, depending on how many double crochet and single crochet rows you added. I am just going to add 2 waistband loops with 3 single crochets in between. Again, that's chain 4, skip 1, and single crochet. And here is my waistband loop row. Now I'm going to turn my work 90 degrees again and return to working on this bottom edge. First, I'll single crochet into the first single crochet of this row. Then I'm going to skip 1, place 5 double crochets in the next stitch, then skip 1 again, and single crochet in the next stitch to create little scallop stitches. I'll repeat that for you a few times. You're going to skip a stitch, 5 double crochet into the next stitch, skip another stitch, and single crochet into the next. Continue adding scallops across this edge here until you reach the end of your row. I'm finishing up my scallops row. Luckily, I have 4 stitches remaining, which is just enough to put one more scallop here, but continue until you have 0 to 3 stitches remaining, and if you can't fit a full scallop, then feel free to just single crochet in the few that remain after your last scallop. But for me, I can place another full scallop of 5 double crochet and then single crochet in my last. Then I'm going to turn my work 90 degrees, chain 1, single crochet into my single crochet row, place 2 single crochet in my double crochet rows, and repeat that. Then place a single crochet in my final single crochet row. Chain 1 and turn, single crochet in your first stitch, and then place matching waistband loops. That's a chain 4, skip 1, single crochet. I had 3 single crochets between my waistband loops, so I'm going to repeat that on this side. I'm going to single crochet into my last stitch and then turn my work to add a final border around my entire project up to the first stitch of my scallops row. So I'm going to chain 1, place 1 single crochet into my single crochet, place 4 single crochet into my chain 4, place 1 single crochet into each single crochet between your loops, place 4 single crochet into your next loop, and continue until all of your loops have a border edge. Then you're going to single crochet into your final single crochet of this row, and then turn your work 90 degrees to begin single crocheting along this top edge of your waistband. Single crochet into the first single crochet row here, and then into each stitch along this top edge. After my final stitch of this edge here, I am going to turn my work 90 degrees again to begin single crocheting into each stitch along the first edge of my bralette cup. And I'm going to single crochet into each stitch up to and including the second of my 3 single crochet corners up here. I'm approaching the second of my 3 single crochets. I single crochet into that stitch. Now I'm going to chain to create a neck strap. For me, I'm going to chain 50. You might want a longer strap, but 50 is just about right for me. So go ahead and chain until you reach the desired length for your neck strap. If you want it to wrap right around your neck like a halter top, then 50 or 60 should be good. If you want this to wrap all the way around your back to become a cross back tie that then becomes your waistband loop, you'll probably want closer to 150 or more. I'm going to make mine to tie around my neck, so I'm going to chain 50. I chained 50. I'm going to chain 1 more as my turning chain, and then in the second chain from my hook, I'm going to slip stitch and then slip stitch into each chain across. If you want a thicker neck strap, you can do single crochets or even half double crochets instead of slip stitches, but I like a thinner neck strap as it's easier to navigate, easier to tie. So you choose what you'd prefer, but place that stitch in each of your chains. I'm placing my final few slip stitches And after I've slip stitched in each chain, I'm then going to single crochet again into the same middle stitch here that I began my neck strap. And then I'm going to continue to single crochet all the way down this side of my bralette cup. I'm approaching this corner where I sewed my 2 bralette cups together. Single crochet up until the single crochet stitch before where you began sewing. And in these 2 stitches that were sewn together, you're going to single crochet 2 together. So to do that, you're going to insert your hook and pull through, insert your hook into the next stitch and pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then continue to single crochet along the next bralette cup until you reach where you're going to have your next neck strap, which is going to be the middle of these 3 single crochets right here. You'll single crochet up to and including this stitch, chain, then slip stitch back down your chain, single crochet along this edge here, single crochet along this edge here, single crochet along your waistband loops, 1 single crochet per single crochet and 4 single crochet per chain 4, and then slip stitch back into this first single crochet of your scallop edge round. I just finished my second neck strap. I'm placing my final slip stitch in my final chain. I'm going to single crochet again into this middle single crochet at the top of my bralette cup, and then single crochet in each stitch down this final bralette cup edge. We're getting close to the end now. I am single crocheting in this final stitch of my bralette cup and in this border row, and then I'm going to single crochet in each stitch along the top edge of this waistband. I like to single crochet over my tails for easy sewing. I'm going to place 4 single crochet into my chain 4. And 1 single crochet in each of these single crochet stitches in between. Place 4 more in my final waistband loop. And then I'm going to single crochet into the final single crochet and slip stitch into the first stitch of this border round. Fasten off, sew in your ends, and you are done with your little bralette here. I am going to chain about 24 to 36 inches to become my waistband tie. So that's just a simple chain. And I'll use that to weave through my waistband loops and secure my bralette top around my waist. You may want to steam or block your project so that it falls really nicely. And here is your final fit. There are the waistband ties and the necktie. Super simple and so cute. I hope you love this tutorial. If you want to see more like it, please like and subscribe to my channel. Happy crocheting!